Hello everyone, welcome to Babylon Leather's official channel. Today, we're going to make this soft tote bag. Now is the finished project show. First, let's check all the materials. 2 shoulder straps, a roll of piping. One handle material, 2 side pieces, 1 bottom pad. One front piece and 1 back piece. The one with 2 holes here is the front piece, and the other is the back piece. 2 leather piping strips, 2 packs of hardware. Find this material, measure the thread 4 times the length of the sewn part, then cut it off. Each time you could measure the thread a little more. The thread is absolutely enough. Thread the needles. Pass the thread through the needle eye. Then pull out a section. Let the needle point to pierce the thread. Pull it tight. Now it is done. Firstly, let's distinguish the front and back of the materials. The one with larger pinholes is the front side, and the one with smaller pinholes is the back side. Start sewing from the first pinhole. Let the needle from the bottom to top. Then let the second needle pass through the second pinhole. Pull the 2 threads, keep them in the same length. Let the first needle pass through the second pinhole. Don't pierce the thread. Pull the thread tight. Now we successfully start the stitching. Keep sewing in this way. Don't miss any pinhole. Don't pierce the thread. After sewing up each stitch, pull it tight. When swinging the thread by hand, the direction should be consistent. Finally, let's end the stitching and deal with the thread ends. Make a backstitch to reinforce it. Now let both needles on the material's back side. Cut the thread leaving a 3 mm end. Burn off the thread ends with a lighter. Now we successfully end the stitching. Let's check the sewn up effect. Sew up the other side in the same way. Find this material. Measure the thread 4 times the length of the sewn part. Thread the needles. Let the material ease front side face up. Start sewing from this pinhole, then single sew this material. Finally, let the thread end on the back side and end the stitching. After sewing up each stitch, pull it tight. When swinging the thread by hand, the direction should be consistent. Don't miss any pinhole. Don't pierce the thread. Pay attention to these points every time you sew. No more hints later. Add this material to sew together when sewing to this marker hole. Let the two materials front side up. Finally, make a backstitch to reinforce it. Then pass the top needle to the next hole. Let the bottom needle pass through the gap between two materials. Be sure to pull the thread tight, then keep sewing. Let the needle pass through the material normally when letting the needle from top to bottom on the maker hole. Add the other material when letting the needle from bottom to top. Make a reinforced stitch here, then keep sewing. Sew to this pinhole, then end the stitching and deal with the thread ends. Find the front piece, back piece, and two shoulder straps. The shoulder strap material with incision is the front side, and the one without is the back side. Let the two materials front side up, combine like this. Align these 3 pinholes. Install it on the other side in the same way. Note that the shoulder strap material on both sides should face up. Measure the thread 3 times the length of the sewn part. Thread the needles. Start sewing from this pinhole, then keep sewing. Use a clip to fix it like this. Sew up the whole circle. Finally, cut the thread and let the thread end on the material's back side. Sew up the other 3 ones in the same way. Find the back piece and bag lid material. Note that there is no hole in the middle of the back piece. Fix the shoulder strap in this way. Put the bag lid, then align the pinholes. Because the finished project is curved like this, the straps should be longer. Measure the thread 8 times the length of the sewn part. Thread the needles. Start sewing from the first pinhole, then keep sewing with the double needle stitching method. Add the shoulder strap when sewing the marker hole, then sew up the whole circle. Finally, cut the thread and let the thread end on the material's back side. Let's check the sewn up effect. Find the bottom material, align the pinholes of it and the back piece. Let the 2 materials front side up. Measure the thread 4 times the length of the sewn part. Thread the needles. Single sew the bottom piece on the first stitch. Let the second needle pass through the first pinhole of the back piece first, then pass through the second pinhole of the bottom piece. Sew up this row of pinholes. Add the shoulder strap when sewing the marker hole. Finally, let the thread end on the back side and end the stitching. Let's check the sewn up effect. Find the front piece, sew it up in the same way. Find the side piece. Let the bag body's front side up, side pieces back side up. Align the pinholes in this way. Be careful not to misplace the materials. Then get the piping and piping strip. Measure the piping the same length as the side stitching pinholes. A slightly longer is good. First, check whether the piping strip is flat. If it is not, trim it. Measure the thread 4 times the length of the sewn part. Thread the needles. Start sewing from the first pinhole, then wind the thread twice like this to reinforce it. Let the bag body's front side up, side pieces back side up. Sew normally the second pinhole. Fold over the piping strip like this. Put the piping strip in on the third pinhole. Sew the third pinhole of the piping strip and the third pinhole of body piece together. Don't miss any pinhole. We could let the needle pass through the pieces one by one. Put the piping in on the fifth pinhole, then keep sewing. After sewing up each stitch, pull it tight. Don't miss any pinhole. Sew the corner normally. When you reach the second to last hole, stop sewing the piping strip. After sew up, wind the thread twice. Finally, let the thread end on the side. Let's check the sewn up effect. Sew up the other side in the same way. Then trim those four corners a bit. Turn over the bag in this way. Turn all four corners out. Use your fingers, not your fingertips. Do not scratch the leather with your nails. When turning the bag, it should be done in one go without stopping midway. Organize the shape of the bag. Find the bottom pad and the bottom studs. Place the leather side facing upwards into the bag and then tighten the 4 screws. Let's check the effect. Install the hardware like this. Let's check the effect. Measure the thread 7 times the length of the sewn part. Thread the needles. Start sewing from a random pinhole, then single sew this circle. Finally, let the thread ends on the back side and end the stitching. Let the needle pass normally when sewing the gap. Then thread the needle from the back to the other side like this. Then sew up the whole circle. Let's check the sewn up effect. Find the inner pocket. It does not have a front or back side, so choose the side to put the zipper based on your personal habits. Let me first demonstrate how it is sewn. First, align the first hole position of the two materials. Then sew normally to the end. Finally, simply single sew the excess holes of the side material. Measure the thread 3 times the length of the sewn part. Thread the needles. First, place the inner pocket inside, and then sew it normally. After sew up, wind the thread once. Make a backstitch to reinforce it. Let the needle pass through the gap, and then cut off the thread and deal with the thread ends. Let's check the sewn up effect. Sew up the other side in the same way. Install the hardware like this. This wonderful bag is complete now. Well, thanks for choosing Babylon Leather. Thanks for watching.